Now, I'll be the first person to agree that as we head into the next generation of console gaming, Microsoft has certainly done a complete 180 of entering the upcoming generation from the massive blunder which ushered in the Xbox One. And because of this, we are of the opinion that the climate of the next generation could look very different to what we have become accustomed to, with PlayStation seemingly having no direct competition this generation. However, interestingly enough, a recent IGN poll of over 135,000 people surveyed revealed that 68% of the total participants have already decided that their next generation console of choice has already been decided on, with the PlayStation 5 as their go-to. Of course, this does make complete sense, as the PlayStation 4's worldwide sales figures, success, and massive adoption rate are simply overwhelming, despite the recently announced attractive price points of the Xbox Series X and S. While the IGN poll is not the end-all be-all when it comes to the most definitive and accurate predictor of future buying habits of consumers, this poll still cannot be ignored, and we believe that the majority of this 68% is heavily influenced by the critical success of Sony's first-party titles. Consider this for a moment. This year alone, regardless of how you feel about these particular games, in the span of just 6 months, PlayStation 4 users had the privilege of playing Dreams, Final Fantasy VII Remake, The Last of Us Part 2, and Ghost of Tsushima. Let that sink in for a minute. And with the PlayStation 5 launching just months after the momentum of these stellar titles, it should not be rocket science to figure out why most gamers are vying for the PlayStation 5. Simply put, it truly is about the games. Microsoft's new video game streaming service is coming out of the gate swinging for the fence, with 150 games to experience on day one, according to Microsoft. Beginning tomorrow, these games will be available through the Game Pass Ultimate subscription service for Android smartphones and tablets. Unfortunately, iPhone and iPad users will not be able to partake, due to Apple's initiative to block services like Xcloud. However, there may be some light at the end of this tunnel, as Apple has permitted game streaming services like Xcloud and Stadia to be offered on iOS if their games are submitted separately as apps using its streaming tech. While this may seem like a tedious solution for Microsoft and Google, currently there has been no word from Microsoft on how they plan to move forward on this with Apple. Impressively, Xcloud will be launching in 22 countries tomorrow. However, at the moment, while there will be 150 games at launch, none of the EA Play games will be available on the service just yet. Ever since Crysis Remastered was announced, fans like myself were skeptical about just how ambitious developer Crytek would push the original game of their critically acclaimed shooter. Then of course we saw the side-by-side comparison video, and realized Crytek was in fact aiming to give us our money's worth. Eventually we learned that Crytek would also become the first developer to offer ray tracing on current-gen consoles for the game. Adding clarification to this point, the ray tracing feature will only be capable on the PlayStation 4 Pro and Xbox One X, and not the standard PlayStation 4 or Xbox One or Xbox One S. In order to pull off this ray tracing technique on the enhanced current-gen consoles, Crytek is utilizing their proprietary CryEngine software-based ray tracing, which according to Crytek was developed using a modified version of CryEngine 5.5. Ray tracing is basically a rendering technique that can create lifelike lighting, reflections, and shadows in games. And based on Digital Foundry's demo analysis of the game running on the Xbox One X, there will be some pros and cons to consider when enabling the ray tracing feature on these consoles. Playing Crysis Remastered without ray tracing allows your PlayStation 4 Pro to run the game at 1800p, while the Xbox One X will push the game at 2160p. However, once you enable the ray tracing feature, both versions of the game are limited to running the game at 1080p and under 30 frames per second. I did say under 30 frames per second. In addition, water reflections in the game will also not include ray tracing. Crysis Remastered launches this week, Friday, September 18th, so mark your calendars. Now, I am sure we are all anxiously awaiting Sony's upcoming PlayStation 5 September 16th showcase, which is when we are expected to learn of the new system's official price point and launch date, including getting a glimpse at some of the exciting new games currently in development at Sony's first-party worldwide studios. However, based on a new leak via Amazon Japan, the PlayStation 5's charging stand, headsets, and several other PlayStation 5 products have been listed with a November 20th launch. Interestingly, this gives the Xbox Series X and S a 10-day head start of breathing room on the market. Of course, we'll have to wait until Wednesday to get the official update from Sony. And lastly, developer Ember Labs' third-person action-adventure, Kena: Bridge of Spirits, the timed PlayStation 5 exclusive, which was initially announced back in June during Sony's PlayStation 5 showcase, has now been delayed officially into early 2021. Originally slated for a holiday release, Kena: Bridge of Spirits is a story-driven action-adventure that features exploration, puzzle solving, and some combat. In a recent Twitter post, the Ember Lab team is overwhelmed and humbled by the positive response and outpouring of support for Kena: Bridge of Spirits. Your kind words and excitement for the game have been an inspiration to the team. This year has brought many challenges, and our transition to working from home has caused development to move slower than we hoped. For this reason, we have made the difficult decision to delay the release of Kena: Bridge of Spirits to Q1 2021. We have not made this decision lightly, but feel it is best for the game and well-being of the team. We will use this time to give the game the polish it deserves and deliver an experience that meets our vision and your expectations. We look forward to sharing more on Kena in the coming months and delivering an amazing experience early next year. And there you have it. And for more gaming news and updates, please head over to our official website at game-insider.com.